Hey guys, welcome back to Real Beauty, Real Women, where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meet social responsibility, innovation, and activism. I am Jacquelyn Aluotto.
I'm Annika Jackson, and we were just talking about how a lot of the stuff that we do happened organically, and movements often start that way. It starts out of an idea, and we have Omar Marcos, founder, creative director of Runway Houston in the house. I'm sporting one of my Runway Houston shirts.
I got one on too. Yay.
Woo!
Twinsies.
I have to get one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you do. You'll have to get one.
I don't
get you
have
one.
one.
So, Omar, you're a new
I'll
dad.
buy one.
It's in the mail already.
Oh, okay.
Right
Awesome.
now.
Okay, great. So, go ahead. Go ahead, Annika. Sorry.
You're a new dad.
I am.
You are. Decided to do that in all the chaos of, you just produced the 7th
It's
season.
7th, yeah. It's
Year, right?
kind of
I mean, you
7
do
years. It's
yeah.
unbelievable. It was a pretty eventful month, the month of March. I embarked on a new career.
That's right.
Entering into real estate, and had a child, our first child, a little beautiful daughter, and then also we did Runway Houston. So it was the most eventful month I've ever had in my life, easily.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
March and April.
Yeah,
I'm like,
leading into it. I'm just saying, leading into where we're at now. Sorry, it's ever since you've been born, it's been like just a blur, and people say that enjoy every moment because it doesn't last very long. It's so true. Like she's already so different than the day she was born, and she's a few weeks old. So it's just unreal. It's exciting.
It is. I remember, though, in the beginning, it's overwhelming.
It is.
Because your whole life has completely changed.
Instantly.
Yes. And you realize, oh my God, I am responsible for this little person.
Absolutely.
keeping track in the little journal when they eat, when they sleep, when they,
Changing diaper. I mean, and if you
They
mess
have
up.
an app for that now.
They do?
It's
Gosh, they have an app
Medela.
for everything.
Of course they do.
Medela app.
Medela?
Yeah.
What does it
You keep track of all the feedings, all the time she sleeps, everything. It just tracks it for you.
I don't think that existed when I had mine.
Alexandra's only going to be 5. That didn't exist.
So my wife's over there, feeding the baby, and she's tracking it,
Wow.
each side, how much time
Right.
and everything.
Yes.
So it's
All
pretty,
the things.
She's
very
nursing.
in depth. Yes, she is
Yeah.
nursing.
I nurse too.
Yeah, we were encouraged to nurse. I know not everybody can nurse because of the
Which just depends.
allergies and stuff like that.
Allergies work. Some women don't produce milk. It just depends.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be able to do that. So we're going to try to ride it out for 6 months if possible.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I nursed, and I feel like it was good for me and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It really worked for us. But it is painful in the beginning.
Yeah, I can't relate to the pain because I'm not doing that, but
Right.
I have heard about the pain.
You do
So
get used to it.
I heard about the pain every day.
So, but we're really here to talk about Runway Houston. And it started out with your birthday.
It did. It's kind of a fun story, I guess you could say. I wouldn't say fun. When I started doing photography, I decided to walk away from the last job I had, you could say that. And it was right around the time of my 30th birthday. And I instantly regretted doing that because I wasn't making any money and I took a big gamble and risk to do this photography. So for my 30th birthday, which was only a month after I left this job, I decided not to celebrate anything because I was really depressed. I was basically broke and broke my lease at my apartment, moved in with my mom at the age of 30. So it was instant regret. So fast forward a year after that, and my 30th first birthday, I decided to do a big 30th birthday bash a year later. And since I had made a lot of connections in the fashion industry, I decided to make it a fashion-themed party. And that metamorphosed as we were planning into a fashion show. And that was the very first Runway Houston. It didn't even have a name back then. Just something that I did on a whim. And
But you did tie in a charity.
I did tie in a charity from the
even
beginning.
that first one.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
American Cancer Society was the very first recipient of Runway Houston before it even had a name. So it's been a charitable endeavor since its inception. And we continue on today.
Yeah,
with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Last year was awesome.
Wait till you see what we do next time in the fall.
Yes.
And it just keeps getting better and better, and this is exciting because like we just come off the spring show and we're already into planning the preliminary stages of the fall show.
Well, I love that there was, because we're really big on innovation
Yes.
and technology, and
Yeah.
every show I feel like you incorporate more of those elements. Incorporating more fashion designers, incorporating more visual artists. You're always trying to do something different and unique, and tying in different charities too, so that not only brings different parts of the community together, but it helps raise awareness for those causes.
Absolutely. I mean, if you can go out and have a good time by watching a fashion show, and at the same time, that at the end of the day, it's giving back, that's a win-win, Some people can't get too tied up into the whole just full charitable aspect of it.
Sure.
So, you go and enjoy a fashion show, or you go to a crawfish boil or something, and then some of the funds go to that. And so it's like you feel good about actually attending, and then
Right.
you've made a contribution in that aspect. So it's cool. I enjoy being able to produce that and also offer nonprofits a little something as well.
Right. Well, I mean, and I think giving back can be glamorous, and
Absolutely.
Giving back can be fun. If you kind of always made giving back, morbid or depressing, or I mean, a lot of people wouldn't do it. So I think
Yeah.
that to come up with innovative and fun ideas and different ideas for people to get involved in the communities,
Absolutely.
or attend different shows, and then part of those proceeds go to a cause. I mean, that's awesome.
It's part of the reason we do it still. I mean, giving back is the new black right now. It's like you
Right.
said it can be glamorous, or you can make it dreadful. And so why do it that way? And there's
Right.
so many great causes here in the city, anywhere really, and people don't realize how much a contribution goes and how little of a contribution can make a big difference as well. So it's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
feeling,
Well, when we were getting ready, we did a walkthrough for the spring Runway Houston, and what really struck me is when you got a card. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So on my wife's side, her family is really, really big, and on my side of the family, it's really small. So there's a lot of family members that are aware of what we're doing with Runway Houston. And so recently I got a card from my wife's grandfather on her dad's side, and it said, "We wish you success and for Runway Houston, and it's going to help benefit a lot of people, including Grandpa." And I didn't know this, but he has blood cancer.
Oh.
And that's who we raise money for, is the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, Shanna Quinn's Woman of the Year campaign.
Right.
And so it hits hard and it hits home so fast that what we're doing, albeit fun and exciting and innovative, we also have a mission as well, and it impacts people that you wouldn't even imagine. And that was how I found out, and it like hit me so hard because they also included a donation in the card.
Wow.
And here
Wow.
he is battling cancer, and he's also making a donation.
Yeah.
So it just like
Wow.
I opened up the walkthrough meeting that way, and I just wanted to reiterate to the team that yes, this is going to be awesome and fun, and we're going to do lots of great things. But at the end of the day, we are also changing lives, or hoping to change lives.
Yeah.
And my sister's a cancer survivor as well. They had to cut her finger off because she had sarcoma. So, but that's the sacrifice she had to make
Wow.
to live. And,
Right.
sometimes we have to do that. And, we can stand here and say all day long, we don't want to do good for the community, I want to do this and that, until it really hits you and affects you. It's like you really don't have an idea how much impact you're making when you're helping somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, walking into MD Anderson was the biggest reality check I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
And I had to go there because my sister was getting treatments there. And I'd never been there before. And when you walk in there, it affects everybody, every race, every age group, kids.
Yeah.
And it's so eye-opening. So it just made it more real for us, what we're doing with Runway Houston, and what we're going to continue doing.
I mean, this is like my language. So I love this kind of stuff. I get so excited because the impact that you can make through your passion and your purpose. And everyone has a different passion and purpose and talent. And imagine if you can just tie all of that in, how much of an impact you could make in every area.
Absolutely.
When you started this, it was just for fun. You probably didn't even, you were raising money, but you didn't realize that years later you would still be doing it, impacting even more people in the community. right?
You nailed it.
Well, and not just through the charitable aspect, but by giving emerging designers in Houston an opportunity to show their clothing on the runway. I mean, some of the people, that I met through seeing them at Runway Houston, helping give people an opportunity to be backstage and get a taste of what it's like to be part of a big production.
Yeah, I mean, why not? And people often ask me, like, why are you doing so much to help people and this and that? I'm like, well, why not? And at the same time, I reverse the roles. I'm fortunate enough to be in a position now to offer these young designers, emerging artists, a platform to showcase their talent to a bigger audience. But when I was first starting out, I was afforded those opportunities by those that were able to. And if I didn't have those opportunities, then I wouldn't be sitting here today talking about Runway Houston year 7, going into year 8, and so on and so on. So, yeah, absolutely. I will continue helping out those starting out that are passionate and driven because those opportunities were afforded to me.
Which is great. You didn't forget where you came from.
Never, and I never will. I mean, I didn't come up prosperous. Single mother raised me. So I will never forget that, and I don't conceal or hide that. People ask me, I'm like, yeah, my mother was a maid. She was a nanny. She cleaned houses for a living. She made it happen for me. But, you see her life and her struggles, and you want to do better so that when you have your own family, you can provide better. And my mom did everything she could to make it happen for me. So now, being a parent, I want to do everything in my power to help others. And, these designers, they're my kids too, in a sense, because I can somehow cultivate and help them grow. And it's a great feeling.
I remember when we went to your show, what I really liked about you, I'm a very big actions person. Because everybody talks and, it's like anyone can say anything. But when you watch what people do, you can kind of really tell their character. And I love that at the end of your shows, you call out all your volunteers and your workers, and you want to highlight them and talk about, how hard they worked. And you just don't see that at other fashion shows. And so I thought that said a real lot about your character and that you appreciate what people do for you, which is, really important. I know we have to go to break. Where can people find you?
Well, on my social media, I can be found as Omar Marcos. On my Instagram's Omar Marcos Daily, but on the other side of it, Runway Houston, across the board on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube.com.
All the things.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, we have to go to break. You are watching Real Beauty, Real Women, where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meets social responsibility. I'm Jacquelyn Aluotto.
I'm Annika Jackson. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Real Beauty, Real Women, where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meet social responsibility. I am your host, Jacquelyn Aluotto.
And I'm your other host, Annika Jackson. And every Monday, you can find us on RBRW Facebook page, as well as amazing1025fm.com, streaming from 6 to 7 p.m. And Amazing 102.5 with a re-air on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 a.m. if you miss us. So don't miss us.
Yes. So watch or listen.
Yes, watch
either one
or listen.
Do both.
Yeah.
Hey,
we're everywhere
times. So, Omar, we have one of the designers here who I've known for a little while, a couple years maybe now. Yeah, Shalon. So, hello.
Hello.
And this is so funny that neither one of you knew that you're both veterans.
No, I didn't know he was.
She has seniority over me.
Yes, 10 years, Air Force.
Nice.
9 years Navy. I salute
Wow.
you.
I salute you.
I salute you both.
Well, and I think so.
I salute the taxpayers.
Yes.
Hey, absolutely.
That's how we got paid.
That's a good point.
Wow.
So I know that I want to hear about your journey.
Oh, my journey into like fashion or just my life, because it can go.
Your life and like why you decided to become, go into the Air Force and then coming out of it and deciding to get into fashion.
Oh,
and
wow. Honestly, I joined the Air Force because I was kind of running away a little bit. I wanted to get out real quick. I didn't find out I got accepted to U of H until I was in basic training.
Oh, wow.
So, everything happens for a reason, but I joined the Air Force, got stationed everywhere, deployments, couple places. Korea, Afghanistan, Bagram kind of thing like that. I was a weapons loader, so I worked with aircrafts. These hands, yes, these pretty hands were mechanics.
Those nails?
Yeah,
Those nails
with the
did
nails,
that?
with the nails. And it wasn't until I think my year 5, my 5th year in the Air Force, I was always fighting it. My parents, I always wanted to design. I always wanted to be creative. And my mom was always pushing me, you need to get paper, be an engineer, do this. And I took a stand and I said, I saw a program, it was for fashion retail, and it was self-paced. And I said, you know what, the Air Force is going to pay for it.
Nice.
Let me see what happens. And it was like a 2-year course, a self-paced, and I finished it in 4 months.
Wow.
Highly
I was
motivated.
I salute you again.
Well, I was just so into it. It was just so natural. And I mean, graduated honors. So I started out as a stylist, and I got tagged up with a designer in Tucson. I was stationed in Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. And I tagged up with him, and I wanted just to kind of learn what he was doing, and then eventually have my own fashion line. I wanted to style. And he was like, well, let me see what you're doing, what you can do. Like, sketch me some stuff. I'm like, man, I ain't sketched since, I don't know, high school. And so over the weekend, I sketched some stuff, and he's like, I love your stuff. I want you in my show in 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, and when you're in the military, they teach you, like, you can be the best at anything. And sometimes you may need to rethink that, but I was like, you know what? I can do this. This is cake. And I busted out, 15 looks, did my first show, got good reviews in Tucson.
Wow.
And after that, I felt like, okay, I got to keep it going. And after that, I was in Arizona, and I did my thing. And it wasn't until I got out in 2015, I came to Houston. It was between Houston and Vegas, and I had family here. And I was like, let me try the Houston market. And I started working with a few people here in Houston, and it's from there. And then I met Omar when I'm a student at Art Institute, and he came and looked for volunteers for Runway Houston, and that's how our relationship started. And he's like a brother to me.
Wow.
That's awesome.
You're like a sister to me.
Oh, I love you.
Don't cry.
And that's because we were asking you, like, what's your passion? What drives you? Fashion, obviously.
Right.
And you have a certain aesthetic with your fashion.
Yes, I definitely work with a lot of knits. I really, I'm doing mostly women's wear. I'm venturing out to men's wear, but on the women's side, I really want to just like show a woman's curve and have her be happy with those curves. It's okay whether you're a size 2 or you're size 22. We accentuate your curves and just love your body. And I work with a lot of knits, so it hugs the body in all the right places, cinches you in the right places. So, and I like to use, unconservative fabrics that you won't really think that, that evening dress is made out of a knit. Oh, wow, that's crazy.
And I just want to add that we've been doing Runway Houston for 7 years, 9 shows, and last week, Shalon was our very first plus-size designer to ever showcase on our runway. So that was
I
awesome.
love that.
Amazing.
Right, yeah.
So body positive.
Body
That's
positive,
huge.
definitely.
Absolutely, we were ecstatic and thrilled to have her, and it's about time. Everybody needs to be represented. And
Right.
when
Absolutely.
she decided that she was going to agree to be in the show, I was like, yes.
And I mean, women are curvy. I mean,
I call it
You
size
just-
reality. I don't
Yes.
even call it. I don't like when they're saying plus size or curvy or BBW or whatever. This is normal. The average woman is a size 14.
Well, and even I'll tell you, no matter what, even when I've been teeny tiny, doesn't matter what size I am, I always have hips. I always
Yeah.
have a booty. It
Right.
doesn't go away. So, it is nice to have somebody who wants every woman to feel positive about her body.
Absolutely.
and that you should like your hips. And,
Yeah,
you
right.
Love it.
That's what women are supposed to, be.
Absolutely.
It's interesting, being a woman. It's got so many different
can't relate.
challenges than men. I know. Men can be bald, toothless, overweight, and it's
still-
fine.
yeah.
Oh, and they're totally
No, it's
happy.
not fine. I better not be that.
And they will say, "Oh, look at that woman. She let herself go." The poor woman's like gained like 5 pounds. It's like, sir, do you own a mirror? Like, come
Exactly.
on.
Do you see a receding hairline?
Right,
I see it.
Exactly. So I think it's awesome that Omar did this in this show, and that you're doing this and saying women should love their curves. They should.
Absolutely. And then the other half of outside of fashion that I'm really passionate about, I really would like to start a nonprofit organization for homeless women veterans. I would like to make these kits and really focus on women hygiene, because there's a lack of that, even down to in the women's shelters, period. You get a lot of clothes, you get shoes, you get stuff for children, but when it comes to women, they really short us on that. Even down into the VA itself, we have limited. They're trying to make it better, but women veterans don't get as best or as much services as our male counterparts.
Wow.
And we go in and they don't really believe, oh, you're in pain, or if you have an issue, or even down to PTSD, they pretend like it's a male oriented situation. There's women that are on the front lines that have PTSD that are coming back. And even if you're not on the line, if you just coming out of the military, I experienced it myself. I have anxiety every morning just picking out my clothes because for 10 years I had a uniform. I didn't have to choose clothes, maybe 2 days out of the week, every day. And I had those issues, and I go in and I'm like, hey, I need help. And they're just like, oh, you're fine. You'll be okay.
And that's the thing where like men are not seen as aggressive. They're just seen as like standing up for themselves,
Right.
and women
Assertive.
are seen as bees. We're seen, and when we try to stand up for ourselves,
True.
people take it as we're being assertive, we're being overbearing, and
No,
it's
I'm being
not.
a boss. That's what I'm being.
Exactly. You need to hook up
Let
with
'em know.
a nonprofit organization called No Sister Left Behind.
Yes.
And
I
it's
love that.
for homeless female veterans. Because
Awesome.
one of the things that Real Beauty Roman Foundation does is we do make care packages and beauty packages for shelters serving all homeless demographic. But
Absolutely.
we do focus on women and children more.
Mm-hmm.
And No Sister Left Behind, they have an incredible organization for male and female homeless veterans.
Yes, every veteran should be taken care of, whether they're male or female. I'm just kind of focusing on the female. I'm a little
Yes.
biased, but
Do it.
veterans needs to. We get overlooked, honestly, as a veteran. Period. We made a choice to serve our country, and that's one thing. It's only 1% of this country serve. Thank you, Omar.
Wow.
Thank
And
you,
so we should get it. It shouldn't be a struggle to get disability when it's there. It shouldn't be a process. It shouldn't take me almost 2 months to get an appointment.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
of course not. I mean,
No, my brother was in the Air Force, and my fiance as well, and I know that my brother it's taken him a long time to get appointments as well. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's hard.
it's
It's
really
the same
a
thing we were
shame.
talking about earlier. It's just like thinking about the government and cutting back services, cutting back money, and expecting other, social service organizations to take up the slack.
Profit over people.
Mhm,
So-
But they're taking the profits from. I mean, the money from them too as well. The funding. Everybody. It's really sad, but I think we're going in the right direction, and all we can do is what we can do for ourselves.
Yeah, and just community. It is interesting. My great uncle who just died was the third wave on Normandy Beach.
Wow.
And I know, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And I always wish I would have videotaped him because he told me so much about entering the beach. But one of the things that I thought was such a shame is that he worked at American Express, and he said, thank God for American Express in my retirement because veterans are not taken care of. And so that's really good that you're speaking up about that
Absolutely.
and doing something.
Yeah, using your voice.
I use it as I can.
Where can people find your fashion?
So obviously you can find it on Facebook. It's Shalon B Designs, and my website is under construction right now, but it will be up in the next week. It's shalonb.com.
Now, how do you spell Shalom?
SHALON, B as in boy.
Okay.
.com.
.com. And what about any retail locations right now? Or is
I
that
do
something
not
you're looking
have.
for?
I do not have a retail location, but I would definitely love to have my pieces in small boutiques or even Macy's.
So if
they
anybody's
want to.
listening,
Yes.
Yes, please. Give me.
It's coming.
Hit me up, definitely. But we have the pop-up shop at Runway Houston, so
We had it last
definitely.
week, yeah.
that was
Yeah.
great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And we work with some.
It is great.
We work with some boutique shops for our mentorship program. So maybe we can also ask them. If you could at
Absolutely.
least go in and just check it out and have a meeting.
Definitely, would love that.
It'd be great to actually do something with Veterans Organization and
Yes.
raise money to build the kits and sell your
Yes.
clothes and have 10% or something go back to funding those.
That'd be amazing. I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Okay.
See,
This is
we're
what
at-
happens every
This is not an Attica's life.
The snowball.
This is what we do
Snowball
with
effect,
the
and I will
nonprofit
Get thrown
right
off.
into it.
Individuals. It's like you're going to be in a store. We're going to do a campaign. We're making kids.
Just tell me to show when and where I need to show up. I'll be there.
A veteran's
Absolutely.
it's important. This is
Every time.
this is the madness, but fun. We have a lot of fun. Well, we really want to thank you
Thank you.
for everything that you do, and I want to actually wear one of your pieces.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we have a lot of events coming up and some things, some big
I can't wear your
things.
pieces.
I'll make you a shirt, Omar.
Yeah, because you said you're starting to do
I'm-
men.
That's right. I
Yes.
forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, I ventured in
Hey.
menswear.
Never mind, I was being serious.
I ventured in menswear a couple seasons ago. And I just like to use mixed fabrics, a little leather, a lot of zippers. I love zippers.
Thriller.
Leather and zippers.
Leather
on
and
men.
zippers. Yeah,
Makes
a
me
little
think like
thriller.
Michael
Nice.
George
Jackson.
Michael.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Getting
that.
George Michael vibes.
A little bit of suede. You never know.
We have to go to break. So you are watching Real Beauty, Real Women, where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meets social responsibility and activism. I am your host, Jacquelyn Aluotto.
And I'm Annika Jackson. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is JJ on the mic.
We are back on Real Beauty, Real Woman Radio.
Where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meets social responsibility. I am your host, Jacquelyn Aluotto.
And I'm your co-host, Annika Jackson. Welcome, welcome. Omar's still with us. Thank you
Yes.
for being here.
Of course.
Staying awake.
I am here.
Okay. And we have the marvelous Alan Gonzalez
Wow,
of
thank you.
Alantude.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you on the show finally.
I'm
Alan
so excited.
has dressed me for a couple of fashion shows in Houston.
Stunning
and
every time.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, of course. So we were talking a little bit before about your journey here and how you decided to become a designer. So will you share some of that?
Yeah. So I'm a fashion designer here in Houston. I run my own fashion company. It's called Alantude, like attitude, but Alantude. It's cute. Thank you. I thought about it. And so that's what I do now. My whole life, though, I did theater, and then I always found myself on stage. But then I wanted to give the costume designers a time for them to shine because I felt like it was always about the actors at the end when they applaud, And so I played producer back in high school, and I said, I'll put on a fashion show, and then you guys bring the costumes, and it'll be about you guys for a night.
Oh, that's awesome.
They canceled on me last minute.
Oh, that's not awesome.
So,
Welcome to the industry.
One of the models didn't get the memo, and they came up to me and they were like, "Hey, what's going on with the show?" And I said, "It's canceled." And they were like, "Well, can't you do the clothes?" And so I did. And then when I noticed that I could do that, I was like, "Oh, this was my calling. Got it. Change
Oh my gosh,
everything."
I just got chills.
So then I did that instead. I had no idea what I was doing. Everything was stapled. Everything was hot glued. The models walked out. They came backstage. I unwrapped them, and that dress was never to be seen again. It was over. But now I know how to sew. Everybody, I promise. Everything is actually
Yes.
sewn.
Yes,
Yeah.
very well. Your construction is totally on point.
Thank you.
Yes.
HCC.
And
HCC.
from Annika, that's a compliment because she has impeccable taste.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Thanks, guys. I mean, wow. We're just here to give me compliments. Thank
Yes.
you.
So when we were talking before, you talked about your journey with your mom being a single mom and that you're really passionate about your family, and even you being under DACA.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've always said that my passion and drive is my family. My family is my mother and my little brother. That's it.
Wow.
You'll see them everywhere I go. They're my life. They're my inspiration. I do everything for them. And I could not be doing everything that I'm doing if it was not for them. As you said, I have a single mother. She hustles to keep, both of her children where we are. And, you're also having to play, in a way, father figure to the little brother, having to pick him up from school and take him to events and things like that, or extracurricular activities. So just all in all, I would say I'm really passionate about that. I am originally from Mexico, so I was born over there, and then I came over at the age of 3. So at this point, Houston is all I know. Whataburger, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Sounds like this guy.
My man.
We're not sponsored. And so
Yeah.
call us.
Yes.
And where was I going with that? Texas
Yes.
raised.
Texas is your life.
Raised. But because I was born over there, then my actual like route to citizenship and things has been the DACA. So I am one of the dreamers. I'm under that. For now, it's a big political talk that we're having right now and kind of seeing where we're going with that. So I think we're all having to push forward and see what happens.
And I thought, what was interesting is what you even said about your license, because I spoke on a DACA panel a couple weeks ago, and I had learned that the dreamers on my panel, and I mean, they were amazing. The one, and he was a young man, he's an EMT, he can save people's lives, but he has nowhere to go to get his license, a social security number, like no documents. And I could not believe that people that have been raised here their whole lives, who are working, who love this country, they have nowhere to go to get documents. And then you said that
it is
when
very
you
difficult.
expire,
it does happen. Things are hard, and they're making sure that it's difficult and just hard for you to obtain what you need to continue. But like I said, we're just going to keep fighting, and we're going to see what happens. I think right now our biggest message is knowing, that we are people. We're just trying to work.
Right.
We're trying to give back to the community. We're trying to, show people that we are a part of a community. We grew up here, and we want to give back to our home. This is it.
Yeah.
This is our home.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
And I loved your camera purse.
My little camera purse, yes, I take it everywhere I go. It's a vintage camera. The film is too expensive at this point to even develop, so I took it apart. I took everything out of it, and if you ever see me with it, ask me about it, and I'll pop my business card out at you.
I loved it.
Awesome.
I loved it.
So talk about you, because you also are known for doing very theatrical shows and having different themes every show. So what's your 2018 theme?
Yeah, so we actually just had our fashion show, my personal one, that I get to do theatrics at.
Yeah.
And so we had 3 different collections. The first one was, again, very personal. It was daddy issues, and it was me having to grow up without a father figure and seeing those issues sort of in my life now. So it's a collection made of cotton that's been wrinkled because I took my aggression out on the fabric, and then all of the pieces are hand dyed and dip dyed in this ombre purple. So that takes a long time, but it looks gorgeous, so it's worth it. And so our other inspiration was also talking about masculinity and kind of what it means to be a man, and having to grow up with phrases like, don't cry, kind of just take the fight, take the beating, things like that. And so it inspired me, and then I took it into the sport of boxing.
Wow.
And so that was what inspired us, and that's the collection that you got to see this past weekend at Runway Houston. And so it's my Take the Beating collection, and it's all inspired by boxing, and all the waists are cinched in, kind of like the boxing shorts would do.
Right.
So I brought something that's really masculine into the feminine body, and still,
was
made
amazing.
y'all look cute.
Yeah,
was
you're
amazing.
very creative
Thank you.
and talented.
And he didn't mention this, but I was at his personal show. There was an actual boxing match while the procession of the runway was occurring. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Wow.
A real
We
boxing
love
match.
having Omar there. Yeah. So that's the only reason I do my own shows,
Yeah.
because getting to be at Runway Houston and other shows in Houston is fantastic. But I do like to do theatrics and bring in inspirations of my collection. And so we did. We brought out a dancer and a singer and 2 boxers that actually fought. So every season we have
missed
something
that one.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very intense.
And sometimes you embarrass your brother.
Every time. Every time. Not sometimes.
That kid cannot be embarrassed. He's too cool.
No,
I've
he's
seen him.
amazing. He is really, really cool.
Go.
But I always dress my mother and my brother
Yes.
in Allentude. So if you want to see something, that's in trend right now, look at my family.
I love that.
I dress them. They look fantastic.
All the time.
They do well.
They're the best walking mannequins I got.
That's
Good-
true.
yeah, some good ones.
Now, before we have to end the show, what is your definition of masculinity?
It's something that we're still talking about, and it's exciting to see society go in a different route than what we've grown up in this custom of being. But I think that because I didn't have it as I grew up, that's masculine to me is just having to be a protective figure and sort of be a support and a wall that your family can lean upon. And so even though, you know, my mom is a woman, she's shown to be father and mother. And so, you know, she'll have those masculine traits sometimes. And, you know, I might not show masculine traits of like, you know, physical attributes and things like that, but that support and care and love for others, I think, is what really shows, you know, just what it means to be masculine. It's that power.
I love that. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know that we have to go. Omar, thank you so much for staying with us practically the whole show.
I was happy to be here.
And congratulations to being a new dad. Your daughter was actually, me and your daughter share the same birthday.
Yes.
The day after St.
It's
Patrick's
a great day.
It's a great day. And she almost came on St. Patrick's Day, actually. I'm glad she didn't because I didn't want her to share the holiday with
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cool for a little bit, but then, you know, it's like, I kind of want my own day.
Yeah, of course.
So.
For sure.
And then the initial due date was actually my birthday, which is March 7th. So
Oh, wow.
she ended up coming March 18th, but, you know,
A little late.
a little late, but hey, still perfect.
Exactly. So, guys, thank you so much. What's your social media?
Of course. Guys, follow me. It's Aluotto. You can search all social media as Aluotto. ALANTUDE. Of course, aluotto.com is our website.
And you have a studio.
I do.
Can
we have
people
our
drop
studio
in, or do you have
Sawyer
certain
Yard.
hours,
Don't
or-
drop by. No. I mean, everything we make is custom. So, I mean, talk to us. Come to an appointment, call me, beat me, and we'll get you in.
Did you say beep me?
Got
Yes.
beeper.
Guys, we have to wrap up the show tonight. You are watching Real Beauty, Real Women, where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meets social responsibility. I am Jacquelyn Aluotto.
I'm Annika Jackson, and we'll see you next week. Hey, we are back.
You're watching Real Beauty, Real Women, where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meets social responsibility. In case you guys don't know, this is Amazing 102.5, and I'm Jacquelyn Aluotto.
And I'm Annika Jackson.
So, Annika, would you like to introduce our lovely guest?
Absolutely. So we are here with another one of the project Runway Houston. So I almost said Project Runway Houston
I know, I say that too.
designers
Sorry, Omar.
that we got to see a couple weeks ago. Hello, Danny.
Hello.
So tell us a little bit about your line and your inspiration.
This is the line that I just showed recently at Runway Houston. Is my spring summer 2018 collection. The theme was very rock and roll, but yet it's futuristic. It's a men's collection on the runway. We had some shark skin suit, metallic fabric for suits, and all the buttons very colorful to make it stand out and different, very futuristic. And then we also have accessories by Toby McCraw. His brand's called T-Soul Apparel. And with that, we incorporate with the shoes and handbag to make a whole statement piece, because we don't want just clothes on the runway. We want to see what people could buy with the
whole look.
Yeah. Mhm. And then we did an installation during Runway Houston where we did a very futuristic Star Trek look and feel, where it's like a spaceship window where we're like traveling in space.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was people really like it. They're like, "Whoa, what is this? You know, it's crazy."
Well, you always are so innovative.
I mean,
And
I
creative.
try
That's
to
an understatement right there.
understand.
Jacqueline, you were just saying that.
Yeah, last year I remember I loved your installation, but it was very interesting. It was well, I shouldn't say I love it, and then how I'm going to describe it, but it was dead girls laying on the ground with roses and in these costumes and
Yeah. That's I feel like presentation wise, I want to do something different. So one last year I did where we had a model laying on the floor like they're dead or relaxing because
Relaxing.
It's
Relaxing.
really relaxing.
relaxing. You know.
Nobody's dead at our show.
Yeah. So, but the concept is we want something different, because every presentation they have models standing there for hours, 30 minutes
Right.
or more, and we want them to feel comfortable and relaxed. So we just have the girls laying on the floor, and we put flowers around them, branches, trees, dirt, everything. Make it look like, they're in a little field out in the open, whereas they're just enjoying the weather.
They just had a really big
Yeah.
picnic and they're taking a nap.
And you have-
Yes.
And you have to pay them
Yes.
less because they don't have to stand up. So you just
Yeah.
you don't pay as much.
Yeah. And then some of them fall asleep, so.
So how did you decide to become a designer?
I actually don't consider myself a designer. I consider myself an artist. I'd rather be an artist, or call an artist, than a designer, because my trade was not fashion. I want to be a sculptor and a painter, but the only reason I got into fashion because I was trained by my mom when I was 10 to help her at her alteration store
wow.
to sew and do alteration, and that's where I got my craft, my skill from. But my true passion was painting and sculpting. So I
Wow.
incorporate sculpting into dressmaking, so that's how I translate my art into it.
Oh, I love that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You can say
Like,
it.
yeah.
It's amazing.
And you're also one of the few Houston designers, I think, that gets out. I see you at New York Fashion Week. You go to LA. You really are trying to break the mold and show people that beautiful, interesting ideas can come out of the city.
I feel like there's this talent in the city, especially we're third or fourth largest city right now. Third or fourth? Which one? am I?
Third soon.
I think we're-
Third.
yeah.
2022 will
Yeah.
have surpassed Chicago.
So I feel like if we're the city this big, pretty sure there's more talented people out there than me in Houston. So it's better right now to have a stepping stone for them in the future, because if nobody's out there to willing to step up the plate and in the stepping stone for them, then these younger generation will not be reaching out there to the goal. So that's why I feel like you have to do New York, LA, Paris, Milan, wherever, to let people in Houston see, oh, there's more opportunity out there, more stuff that we could do, more stuff younger kid can accomplish if there's somebody else ahead of us. Like, for example, when Project Runway first came out with Chloe Dow
Yes.
winning, it put Houston on the map that, there's talent in Houston, just because not just New York and LA. So we want to repeat that process, but in a bigger step.
Nice.
So you're a pioneer.
I'm just a pioneer that's following another person that followed another person.
Right, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. What are the things that you are passionate about?
What I'm passionate about is I, through years of working, communicating with people, I realized it's not what you do, but it's how you interact with people. I feel like the way you interact with people, how you connect people with other people, that will change the world. Not because of something you do, it's something that you do for somebody that will do something for somebody else that will change the world. So I feel like it's the passion of passing forward your knowledge that's what's really going to affect the future. It's not just you that will affect the future alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many years has Danny been part of your shows?
Danny's been since the second one, and the only reason he wasn't a part of the first one is because I didn't know.
Ah,
He's that talented, and I mean, this may sound like I'm gassing him up, but it's genuine and sincere. This guy is a brilliant mind, and I'm always happy to have him back because I know the presentation will be fresh and on point, and that's what we need. You were alluding to it earlier, Jacquelyn, that Runway Houston's a little bit different. We try to infuse different aspects to it.
Right.
That's what Danny brings to the table. So it's a no-brainer to have him there each time, as long as he's happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I always help.
You'll be
areas
too big
that-
one day in LA or New
No,
York.
I'll
So I'll take you down when I can.
I'll still do something. Just give me a phone call. It's no problem.
I'll fly you in.
Yeah, just fly me in. It's
There
no
you go.
problem.
nice.
Yeah.
So do you still sculpt? Like, could we see your sculpting anywhere?
No, I haven't really touched clay since college. I haven't touched. I touched painting like last month, but that's about it. But I haven't really touched. I want to get back into it when I have more time in the future. Because right now I'm trying to build my business in a more bigger scale direction instead of just a custom clothing direction. I wanted to move into more a company, a corporation in a way. So I wanted to expand, and when you have more time to expand, you have more people to work, then you have more time for myself, then I could do what I
Sure.
really want.
So do you want to tell people, we always tell people that are entrepreneurs, just the hard work and dedication. How many hours a day do you think you work?
I work every day. I get up around 10 or 11 in the morning, but
Must be nice.
yeah. But here's the catch with that.
Don't
It's
have kids.
Yeah, but then here's that too. But I get home at 8 p.m. at night, and then I'll have dinner, and then I have a small workspace in the back room where I work until 4 in the morning.
Oh,
Right.
well, there you go.
So yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what I do every day, and I don't feel like it's work. I'm just doing art. That's what I feel like I'm doing.
Right.
Just spending time doing art. And I do it every day for the past 9 years. That's what I do. I haven't had a real vacation. Only consider vacation is when I do fashion show. Even that is not vacation.
No,
'cause
it's
when I do the fashion show, I go do the show, and we go do network. We do the most network we can.
Right.
And I don't get home till 3, 4 in the morning. Wake up next day at 9 a.m. and do it again.
Right.
You know, so there's no break yet.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, when you're starting or you're getting bigger, you have marketing and there's a digital element and your website and then your SEO and then your social media and there's always a new. It was
It doesn't
Facebook,
stop.
Instagram. Now there's Snapchat. And
Now there's Vero.
yeah.
what is Vero? My
It's a new
God,
thing.
I don't want
Oh,
any
yeah.
more new things.
Google it.
It's Vero. Oh God.
It's a new, it's another
That's-
social
yeah.
media. It's
I think
next.
the future of fashion and any other business right now is leaning towards social media, and it's it's like the world is very big right now, but it's so small because
Yes.
in the social media, and I feel like it's leaning toward where we're actually catering to individual clients in a way, but we're not. But at the same time, we are, because that's how the social media make it seem like we cater to individual
well, like
clients.
you put something on Instagram, now you can click buy it now.
Yes.
Right?
Right, which is amazing. I know that we have to go to break. Where can people find you?
My website, www.dannywinCouture.com, or my Instagram, Danny Win Couture, or Facebook, Danny Win Couture.
Okay, guys, stay tuned. You are watching and listening to Real Beauty Roman Radio.
We'll be right back.
I know we have to wrap up, so
Yeah.
guys, you are listening to and watching Real Beauty Real Woman, where beauty, glamour, and entertainment meets social responsibility on Amazing 102.5. I am Jacquelyn Aluotto.
I'm Annika Jackson, and we'll see you next week.